in the Audi 1270. David posted a 36.53.
So a lot of these pre-war saloon cars, which really weren't very quick, had their big heavy bodies taken off and were converted into little sports cars like this 1270 Special. A great fun and not too expensive way of going BS6
Now we've got Kenny Baird in the Austin Healey Frog Eye.
Time for number 15, 41.92. 41.92.
Right, Kenny Baird on his way up. He was third today in the class with this little frog eye. He's the guy who wrote the book about the
hurls it into courtyard, nicely controlled, hugging the straw bales. Time 32.13 for Kenny, 32.13. Fraser was quick in the Bentley last year.
Yeah, Fraser USD won the class for pre-1962 saloons and sports cars. And here he comes down towards the hairpin in what is a Bentley Mark 6 Special, also known as the Beast. That's the car of Fraser. And Fraser Ewart now into Croydon Bend, heading up towards Old Paddock Bend, should be into your view any second.
It doesn't have the Mark 6 Bentley engine, it has a V8 6.5 litre engine. Fraser hammering away and time for Fraser Ewart, 31.03, 31.03.
Right, we've got the red flags out again.
There's a bit of sweeping at Old Paddock Bend, a bit of straw has been dislodged, so maybe that's the cause, won't be long.
I think he's probably clipped a nail going through the cooler.
Yeah, I think a bit of bale clipped on the inside. We've got straw bales on the curb on the inside of Old Paddock Bend for the first time this year, that's what I remember. And it's very easy to just nudge the inside of the bend. But enthusiastic sweeping by marshals, who always do a grand job at both races and hill climbs and sprints. Without them, we wouldn't be able to run these meetings. It's a very good way of getting involved in motorsport. And marshals in this country are well known as being the best trained and the best in the world, which is why they get invited to marshal up to events like Le Mans and various Grand Prix around the world.
We're off and running again with number 22, Rosalind Cooper, in this more standard road-going Austin Healey Sprite. 1380cc.
Which is about as big as you can get on a series.
Yeah, it can't get much bigger. She should be into your view now.
Here comes Rosalind in the standard-looking frog eye, apart from the roll bar. Rossman's over the finishing line. Time will be coming. It is 33 seconds exactly.
Now heading down into the hairpin, it's number 23. This is actually being driven by Ken McWhirter. This is the ex-Freddie Bald Jaguar XK120, run by Akira Acosta, driven by Ian Stewart as the centre of that quad-looking wing, but I don't believe it. And that's heading up towards the top of the hill.
So I don't know if the 120s were all painted Acosta blue actually. This one certainly is very elegant dark silver grey. 120, fairly soft suspension, fairly heavy steering as Kim was commenting on. And the time 41.33 for Ken, 41.33.
Darren McWhirter now on the hill with the second of the XK120s. This is an alloy bodied car built for the XK Challenge, which was in the late 90s. and certainly more of your racer type than the elegant road car.
Yeah, he chucks it through Old Pad with a touch of this one is blue, and so a considerably quicker car, and records 30.95.
Now we've got Jeff Mansfield, this Jaguar C-Type, a replica that was built in New Zealand, called a two-room copy, because every nut and bolt is exactly the same as in the original C-Types, and 3.4 litre straight six engine, and Jeff doing very well with his car of late.
It's absolutely right. A lot of these replicas had independent rear suspension off a Jaguar Saloon, but this one has the solid rear axle, as it should do. And Jeff is over the line and records 35.68.
Heading down to the hairpin now, Scott Goodfellow with this Terrier Mark II. Ooh, lots of smoke from the engine. And there's a cloud of smoke hanging over the hairpin. I don't think he's going to make it to the top at that rate. There doesn't look to be any fluid on the track, but a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, he's not appeared. He's appearing very slowly, steaming. So sadly, the Terrier has expired. It looks like steam rather than smoke, but that's a pity because this car competed here at Bowness in the 60s.
Yeah, 1966.
Designed by then Terry, who went on to design Grand Prix Lotuses and the like.
Yes, and my favourite car, the Eagle Westlake.
Yes, that's the most beautiful car, with which Dan Gurney won the Belgian Grand Prix.
That's correct, yes, the only time he won a Grand Prix.
And Dan is going to be a guest of honour next weekend at the Goodwood Revival.
Absolutely, yes. And one of an elite group of people to actually win a car that he constructed himself, you know, in Formula 1.
Yep.
I think there's Bruce McLaren, Dan Gurney, and Jack Brabham. Very exclusive group.
I don't know what engine that Terrier has.
I think it's probably it's a pretty crossload 40
Are we on course 5 for this? Are we on course 5 for this?
that ilk. Built
Is this the
rolling back into the paddock now. So
Is this the
he's
new?
off the track is clear.
I think it may have been spilling a little bit of oil because there's some cement dust being
That's a good thing though.
swept onto the
I'll
inside
get
of
that
the
then.
bend.
Doesn't look too bad down here at the hairpin.
No, it's where he stopped. I think it dripped a bit.
Because my pictures are for Dad, because he wanted to come, but obviously he can't. 99 seconds. Yeah, 99 seconds, he was off.
Right, well the red flags are starting to come in. Down here at the bottom of the hill, that Croyer Bend is still out, that's been retrieved, so we're not that far away from restart. Failed room for number 21, Scott Goodfellow. Hopefully we'll see the car later.
Grandad, Ken, if we're quick enough, we could get the bus then. We can get the bus then, if we're up here.
It could be quite simple.
But then there's quite a lot of seats for it.
Check the oil.
What, here? I think so. Don't know.
Once to my embarrassment,
No, we just got Wienermo in the car, so...
the
No, it's free car park.
fuel pump
Free car
ticking
park.
away like crazy.
Free car park.
Guess what happened? I forgot to put any fuel in it. I described it as fuel pump failure.
That reminds me of Ferraris. In the Italian Grand Prix one year, one retired, and the wonderful John Bolston reported from the pits that the Ferrari had retired with electrical trouble caused by a piston came through the side of the block and knocked off the ignition. It wasn't very popular with Enzo when he said that.
John Bolston was president of our school's motor club in Kent, which meant that we could bicycle over to Brands Hatch and he would say, come on boys, hear your grandstand speaks as he was commentating there.
Right, well the marshals are out just checking the track at the moment. It seems to be okay down here at the hairpin.
Yeah, ditto at Old Paddock. Marshals have returned to their post, and I think red flags are in, so we'll soon be back in action with Little, Clint McKinnon in the TR3.
Alright, well all the clerks have just gone up to the marshals at Croyett Bend.
What? Do you want the buses?
They're in discussion there, so I think there may be a short delay before we're back underway.
It's nice to have Walter Robertson, of course, is our partner, of course. But to have Dave Nursey and Campbell Dees up from Chelsea Walsh helping out and enjoying driving the exotic smart cars and the even more exotic Jaguar XKR.
Right, I think it was a problem with the radio at post 3.
Okay.
It was causing the problem, so that's been resolved. And Campbell moving back into the paddock, so we should be underway very, very shortly. Hopefully we'll have a car ready to go onto the start line. And if anybody wants to get a little bit more involved in motorsport, then I always recommend joining your local motorsports club. And on cue, here comes Clint McKinnon in the Triumph TR3. Neat and tidy line through the hairpin, accelerating away.
TR3 sharing its engine with the standard Vanguard and the Ferguson tractor, but in the TR3 it was produced a bit more power. TR3 was a slightly more sophisticated version of the Triumph sports car than the original TR2, but right up to TR6 they were a great success, particularly in the American market for Triumph. And the TR3, 36.59.
Now we've got the Banshee whale of the X-Pac MG engine in the TC of Keith Bannifield, who just locks up and has to drop a gear as he was going through the hairpin, lost a bit of momentum, came second in the class yesterday in this 1350cc supercharged MG.
X-Pac engine in normal form produces about 55 horsepower. This one with a Marshall blower is producing 120, lots of power, and it's a quick car. 34.06 for the MG.
I've dropped it down, lost all his time at the hairpin when he sort of had to drop a gear for some reason. Now we've got the little Austin 7 Special, the Speed X with Chris Seal at the wheel. Several companies provided replacement bodies for Austin 7s. This is one of them, the Speed X, 750cc's. That's with most of the Austin 7 Specials.
Chris, whose father, Oliver, was Mr. Grovewood Securities and effectively owned various racetracks, including Snetterton. Chris himself raced in Formula 3, then after a long wait, in the Speed X Austin 7, and records a time of 38.67.
Now we're into the dual-driven cars. This is number 132, the MGB GT with Alex Hazelhead at the wheel. You'll notice that it's only sporting one headlight. Well, it lost its other here at the hairpin yesterday.
Had a slight argument with the strawberry and lost.
Yeah, well, you will with these big.
Here we go. MGB GT through.
That car looks quite cool.
Very quiet and civilized, and records a time of... Computers are meant to be quick, aren't they? 36.75.
Kirsty House now in the MG Midget, 1275cc. She's from Callander. And these are the shared cars in the pre-selected Russell Windsor sports car class.
She's sharing this car with Derek, who I accused yesterday of being her husband. In fact, he's her dad. So I got my knuckles wrapped by Kirsty, who is still angry and is rushing through the courtyard of Great Star. time